Hello, my name is Phyllis Leininger. I am going to read you the book called The Cornfield That Grows People, the story of Camp Alexander Mack. I wrote this book at home over a vacation to celebrate Camp's 75th anniversary. Now, 20 years later, we are celebrating Camp Mack's 95th anniversary. The book reflects the camp's goals and plans 20 years ago. And many changes and improvements have been made to Camp Mack in those 20 years. Even though Camp did have groundbreaking for Schomburger cabin that you see in the book, but Camp did not build that cabin. The cornfield that grows people is illustrated by Herbert Evelyn. The book is dedicated to Jacob and Chloe Neff, their daughters Gladys and Bertha, their granddaughter Alice McKenzie, their great-granddaughters, and their great-great-grandchildren. It's also dedicated to you, all of God's children, young and old, whose lives have grown and will grow in faith and love at Camp Alexander Mack. And now for the story. Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a cornfield. People said that its size was 6 acres. The cornfield provided food for many people and animals and helped them to grow to be strong and healthy. Right beside the cornfield was a peaceful lake called Lake Wabi. Ducks swam in the lake. Turtles sunned themselves on a log that stretched across the channel or little stream by the lake. And herons with long legs waded in the water. A caring couple owned the cornfield. Their names were Jacob and Chloe Neff. They loved Jesus and they loved their church. Their 2 daughters, Gladys and Bertha, were grown up. But Jacob and Chloe cared about the other children and youth in the church who needed to learn to serve their God. One day, the Neffs heard that some brethren were looking for a place to build a camp. Camp was a new idea, but the brother leaders said that the camp would bring lots of youth together to learn to follow Jesus. Jacob Neff wrote a letter to the brethren leaders. Please come and see my cornfield, he wrote. I think it would make a good camp. Soon, 5 important men came to look at the cornfield. They came down a lane and through another field. They opened and closed 2 gates, and then they were standing in the cornfield. They looked at the field. One said, I like this field because there are 4 towns nearby that each have a railroad station. Another man added, 3 towns near here have bus stations. You are right, said the third. Youth without cars will be able to get here. The men looked around some more. They dug in the dirt. There is gravel under this dirt, they said. Rainwaters will drain quickly away and the ground will not be muddy. The sun began to set. The sky over the lake danced in brilliant shades of pink and red and gold. The men exclaimed, "We can have evening worship services facing the lake and watch God create the sunset. We have looked at 12 different pieces of land. This is the best place for a camp," the men agreed. In the fall of 1924, Jacob Neff and his farm helpers picked the last corn off this field. Jacob sang while he worked. "Why are you so happy?" the helpers asked. "Because I know that God will use this field to grow his people," Jacob replied. "How can that be?" asked one helper. "When the corn is gone, there will be nothing here but bare land. There aren't even any trees except for those few oaks over next to the lake." "You will see," said Mr. Knapp. "God can do mighty things." Late in November, the men who chose the cornfield had a meeting. Everyone on the committee exclaimed, "Yes, yes, let's name the new camp after the founder of the Church of the Brethren, Alexander Mack." And so the cornfield got a new name. It was Camp Alexander Mack. Now, Farmer Neff did not plant corn in the field. Camp Director L.W. Schultz was in charge now. "Let's plant buildings and cabins," Papa Schultz said. Then he wondered, where should we put the buildings? What should they be like? Corn looks good in straight rows, but how should a camp look? Sadie Wampler was L.W.'s friend. Sadie was good at many things. She liked to direct plays. She was also a fine artist. "I will make a plan for the new camp," Sadie said. "I will draw you a picture so that you will know what to build where." In the picture, she even drew the spot on the hillside where she would someday direct dramas at the camp. Director Schultz liked Sadie's design. Winter came. Snow fell. It was very cold. Neighbors and church people heard that something new was happening in the cornfield near Lake Wabi. "We will help," said the neighbors. "We want to help," said the church people. "Bring your saws," said a good neighbor. "Let's cut down trees from our woods. We can cut them into logs and haul them to the cornfield. When spring comes, everything will be ready to build the first camp cabin." "I'll bring my team of horses and my mud sled to help haul the logs," said another neighbor. When spring came, volunteers took their hammers and nails and journeyed to the cornfield. "Where will we get wood to build a camp?" one man wondered. "How much does wood cost?" his wife asked. "Look," they shouted when they saw the big pile of logs. "We have plenty of wood to build the first cabin." And it was all a free gift. By the time the Mayflowers were blooming, the first cabin was nearly finished. Director Schultz said, We will use this cabin as the camp office and the camp store. Let's call it Dieter cabin. Then Director Schultz said, we need a place for campers to sleep. We need a place for campers to meet. We need a kitchen where cooks can prepare food for our campers. We must act quickly. Our first campers have been invited to come this summer. We need to be ready. June came. The days were warm. They were longer too. There were more daylight hours in which to work. Day after day, volunteers worked with shovels. What a deep, deep hole the volunteers are digging, thought the cornfield. They must be planting something very, very deep. And you know, we wouldn't dig a big hole like that today with shovels, would we? We'd have a backhoe. This is almost 100 years ago, 95 years ago. On the 4th of July, many, many Buicks, Dodges, and Fords turned in at the cornfield. People got out of their cars and looked at the cabin. Then they looked at the big hole in the ground. What is this hole? They asked. Papa Schultz explained. This will be the basement of Sarah Major Lodge. We will have a kitchen and dining room down there. We will have a meeting room on the main floor and sleeping rooms for the girls upstairs. The celebration is about to begin, someone called. Go to the hay wagon. The speakers are using the hay wagon for a stage. Everyone crowded around the wagon. They thanked God for the cornfield. They thanked God for the Neps who shared their land. They thanked God for persons who gave logs and volunteers who worked long hours. Then they prayed, God, please help us to have camp ready for the campers who are coming in just 23 days. The 23 days passed quickly. Volunteers put up walls and rafters. Some did stonework. Others worked on the roof. On July 27, 1925, Sarah Major Lodge was ready enough to use. The first campers began to arrive. Director Schultz counted 128, 129, 130 campers. You are the very first campers at Camp Alexander Mack for this very first 5-day camp, Papa Schultz told the campers. The campers worshiped. They sang, they played, they swam, and they washed their own dishes after every meal. Some boys slept in tents, while the girls got to be the first ones to sleep in Sarah Major. The days passed quickly. Soon the campers got back on the trains and buses to go home. They all said, we are so glad for our new camp. We made many new friends. We learned more about how to love and serve Jesus. We wish we could stay longer. We want to come back next year. The first camp was over, but there was much more work to do at the new camp, Alexander Mack. A camp should have trees, camp leaders said. We will plant trees volunteered some youth. That is a good job for us. Soon, many pines and other trees were planted where corn once stood. There are youth planting trees. We need sleeping space for boys and more for girls, Papa Schultz shared. Church members came and built cabins for sleeping. Mr. Neff looked at the camp. The camp needs more land, he said. I will give 14 more acres. As camp grew, more land was purchased and some was freely given. We need more dining space and meeting space, Papa Schultz told his camp friends. And again, many volunteers came to do most of the work, and Becker Lodge was built. When construction materials like stone and wood and windows were needed, friends of the camp and churches gave money or donated materials. It would be good to have a large building to hold big groups of persons like big annual meetings, Papa Schultz thought. Volunteers came and built Winter Miller Auditorium. One day, some youth said, big pictures of the brethren would help us learn about our church. The youth asked Medford Mueller to paint the story of the brethren. The 12 big pictures that Mr. Muir painted were hung in the big auditorium. See one of the murals up there? Now we need some place for the staff, the camp workers, to live, shared Mr. Schultz. We will build Ulrich House for staff housing, said more volunteers. Over the years, Camp Mac continued to grow. After many years, new directors took over the work, began by L.W. Schultz. But always, when a director told the camp's friends about what the camp needed, volunteers came to help. When a small chapel was needed, volunteers built Schultz Chapel with an end that opens and overlooks the lake. It would be wonderful to have chimes ringing like heavenly bells, calling campers to morning and evening worships, someone said. Volunteers came and built the chime building. We need a place to keep the camp tools, said the camp staff. Volunteers gave money and time, and a shop building was built. We need more staff housing, one director shared. Here we are, said the volunteers. We will build more places for staff to live. There's the staff residence with 4 apartments. The world is busy and noisy, one lady said, or as she sighed. We need a place where persons can be by themselves with God. Again, volunteers gave money and time to create the quiet place. We need to replace 4 old cabins, the camp director said. Here we are, said more volunteers. We will help build a big new cabin called Schomburger. Camp Alexander map continues to change, but ducks still swim in Lake Wabi. Turtles still sun themselves on a log in the channel. Herons still are seen occasionally wading knee-deep in water. And caring people still tend the land that once grew corn. Why do so many volunteers help at Camp Mac? Why do so many campers come? And why do so many people feel at home at this special place that was once a cornfield? Because God's love grows at Camp Mac. People grow in love at Camp Mac. Everyone is welcome at the cornfield that grows God's people. The end. That was the cornfield that grows people. The story of Camp Alexander.